The three-day event will see various stakeholders converge to discuss ways to help prevent as well as deal with disasters when they occur, and will be followed by a two-day workshop that will facilitate the training of the various staff on the proposed methods of safeguarding the African heritage. Speaking at the official opening of the conference, Dr. Purity Kuira, the Director, Antiquities, Sites and Monuments, said that the body was formed and mandated with the running of the museums in the country.
All of them are not within the galleries. I would say maybe just a very small fraction of those collections are within our museums, because we also have a policy whereby most of the original collections are not displayed in most of the museums. So the fraction that we have there mainly is of culture, sometimes of natural value, and we also have copies and casts of some of the fossils for the public to also be able to view.
She further stated that there was need for the county governments to participate in preserving the country's heritage after the museum function was devolved in 2010 following the promulgation of the new constitution and put under the county governments.
We've been having discussions with the counties and also among ourselves on what is the function of a museum. Because if you are devolving the museums, then what are you devolving? Are we devolving the 9 million collections that we currently hold? Are we devolving the 24 museums that are under the National Museums of Kenya? And what are some of the issues that we need to rethink? And also what are some of the areas that we can borrow from? For example, the international people who are here, they can give us a few pointers into directions that we can take. If it's policy, we all have to have policies.
The International Committee on Museum Security, headed by Annette Hansen, stated that the value of a museum is what it collects, as it may be used as a security for loans, thus the need to safeguard them.
Value for the museum can be, of course, the collection. It could be a loan for somewhere else, or there's a cultural heritage that you had a lot of it in this country, and it's very difficult to take care of it. So that is the value that we hopefully can bring in a networking, learn from each other, talk about what have you done and what have your experience have been, and how can I, maybe in a better way, protect the things in my museum, the people, my staff, everything that is around me.
President of the Kenya chapter for the International Council of Museums, Muthoni Thangwa, was also in attendance and spoke on the importance of protecting our museums as they hold the country's valuable collections ranging from the cultural to human origins.
Recently, the museums in Rio, the National Museum of Rio, burnt down. When something like that happens, a country loses valuable collections that cannot be reconstructed. So we're trying to look at our precious collections in Kenya. You know, we have a lot of cultural collections. We have the human origins collection that nobody else in the world has. We have the biggest human origins collections. So we're discussing ways and methodologies to secure these precious collections for posterity.
She also added that the regional meeting was being held to discuss ways to boost regional museums in East Africa, as well as preparing for any disaster by developing a disaster management plan.
We also have a regional meeting where we have representatives from the museums in Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and Ethiopia. We are looking at securing our region. So, because you see, in the world of museums, museums are without borders, because any loss in precious collections is a loss to the universal value of humanity. It's not just about Kenya. So we are looking at encouraging regional museums in Eastern Africa to also plan for any disasters that may happen. And disasters can be natural or due to human error.
The conference comes days after a devastating fire destroyed the Rio National Museum in Brazil, which is the oldest scientific institution in the country, with losses amounting to billions of dollars. It contained 20 million items, including the oldest human remains ever found in the Americas. This came as the institution prepared to celebrate its 200th anniversary. As the curtains open for the International Conference of Museums in Kenya, it is expected that the outcome from the international representatives shall go a long way in safeguarding our museums from natural disasters or human error, which have seen museums incur losses. For BrandPlus TV Business News, I am Daisy Wambua.